Why do we have a delay of 8 hours before 911 was called? Well, it appears we now have an explanation. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. Mama D coming at you. All right, you guys, get ready for the explanation. So we've all wondered, right? Why an 8-hour delay before calling 911 in the IDAHO4 case? Well, apparently we have the explanation. So get ready. I'm about to show you. Now, this could be a hoax, but it appears as though it's somebody that is affiliated with the Idaho University. Maybe, possibly, could be, maybe, that works there. However, they are definitely defending the Idaho University. Now, in this, what I'm about to read you, I want to say thank you so much for this poster because you pointed me into the right direction. Y'all, I wasn't planning on going live today, but this comment or this poster triggered me, and I am so hard to offend. They so offended me. I am like, oh no, you didn't. Oh no, you didn't. And I think you're gonna have some strong feelings. Now, I did answer this person. I screenshot it all for you, baby. But then, once we're past the, back and forth, he said, she said, whatever, which it's not drama. It's all case related. Oh, this is juicy. This is like we hit a nerve and somebody was like, oh, no, you didn't. And then they were all like, bleh. And I was like, oh, no, you didn't. Bleh. And it's guilter and truther and ooh. And then I reviewed it and I'm like, oh, you did. You gave us something. You gave us something that we can go with. Thank you. So, without further ado, let's get over to our browser. So, yes, you've seen this before. I'm just going over kind of like our thumbnails because they progress at the same time. You can see why we finally have struck a nerve. So we talk about Frat Trap. We talked about leaving Greek life, true crime, and the undercover university. I guess I should rephrase that. They're not undercover. They're just clad in black, right? What do we want to call them? Security? Right? Then we get into the Linda Lane footage a little bit, and we talk about tearing down the room. We talk about the IT department at the colleges. Brian Kohlberger, we talked about that. We went through Ann Taylor, right? We talked about Dean Green, the university president. We went back to talk about the security at the university, and still no answer. Nobody answered me that. We talked about the judge in the case, and we talked about Adam Lada. We talked about Emmy Bailey. We talked about the trolls that get triggered. How interesting, right? We talked about the night runner and getting triggered, and then here we are, right? Boom. All right, I'm going to read this in sections because it's going to trigger you. Junie Jams 3729. She says, oh, and I love the 1950s picture. That is so quaint. Junie Jams 3729. I'm going to puke or upchuck. I don't know. She has that little icon. All these rumors are rumors. There are facts to this case, but because LE and DA are being careful not to share info, people on YouTube go live and make up stories. Now hear me out, y'all. The first part, it blows my mind. She says, the real motive for U of I to year the house down, she meant tear, is that it's an eyesore. It's really hard to give tours to prospective students and their parents when the murder house is sticking out like a sore thumb. It's really hard to give tours to students and prospective parents with the murder house. It sticks out like a sore thumb. Wow. That's just the start of her post. Oh my golly. How do you guys feel about that? Because that triggered me. Like, triggered me. What are your feelings, you guys? I don't think finances should play a part to getting justice for 4 victims. We cannot help that that is a murder house, as you say. I guarantee you it's an eyesore. So sorry you have to be reminded that you've had crime in your community. Have you ever thought about the fact that it might keep people on their damn toes when you really didn't have the proper security? Think about it. Campus security was right next to the house, and they didn't hear or see anything? Maybe you need a reminder. Or do you want to get back to where people just wind up frozen under the bridge and nothing to see here? How's admission doing? Katybug, at least until the case is finished, right? Until the case has gone to trial. Moonlight Ray says, why was the number of enrollments the second highest in the U of I history in the fall of 2023? Makes no sense. Lucy Lou Who says they just want everybody to forget what happened here. And let's get into some more of what she says. If you really want to understand something, go read the Sorority and Fraternity Procedure Manual. Direct students not to call police, but to call senior staff first. We're going to go look at that. We don't even have a trial date till maybe 2025. All right, let's go back. Because by the end of this, deep breath, you guys, all these little ridiculous lies, speculation, and bullshit people put out on their lives are just tainting the jury pool. You're going to get BK off on a hung jury at the very least. Are there dirty little skeletons in a lot of closets? Yes. This murder was about BK and pretty girls he could never have. Maddie pissed him off by rejecting him. Then Kaylee ignored him on Instagram. His phone, computer, purchase, and other records place him there at the time those people were being killed. Stop trying to make this something it's not. Of course there will be people involved in the case that went to school. It's a goddamn small town. Oh my God, I can't stand all these YouTube channels just capitalizing on this horrific crime. If I'm wrong, then don't monetize. Don't accept donations. Then cover the story. See how much time you dedicate to this subject then. Oh, really? I'm going to read my response now. This is from 1111 True Crime, Danny, me. First of all, I worked for 6 years as a volunteer for wrongfully convicted men and women. I didn't get paid. So don't come onto my platform and presume to know me by watching one video. You have no idea what I do or why I do it. Oh, I said you have no idea why I do what I do. Second, I'm honored to think you feel I have enough pull on my YouTube platform, as you said, quote, you're gonna get BK off or hung jury at the very least, end quote, to actually affect a national trial. Number 3, you started this all with, quote, all these rumors are rumors. And then you continued with, Quote, all these little ridiculous lies, speculation, bullshit people put out in their lives are just tainting the jury pool. And yet, you go on to share your very own special opinion. Quote, the murder is about BK and the pretty girls who he could never have. End quote. Wow. You feel sharing your opinion and quite literally speculation is okay. You don't truly deserve my time or attention, but what the hell? Let's keep going. Fourth, you actually justify destroying the largest piece of evidence and seeking justice for 4 victims before trial by stating, quote, the real motive for U of I to tear down the house is that it's an eyesore. It's really hard to give tours to prospective students and their parents when the murder house is sticking out like a sore thumb. My answer is I have no respect for this answer whatsoever. Fifth, you stated, quote, if you really want to understand something, go read the sorority and fraternity procedure manuals. Direct students not to call police, but to call senior staff first. Quote, end quote. And I wrote, I assure you, I am not alone. On my line of thinking, when a murder takes place, 911 is to be called first before anyone else. And I feel that you may have given the victims' families the exact location to start with a lawsuit against the college for delaying life-saving measures if they so chose. Number 6, you stated, quote, his phone, computer, purchase, or other records placed him there at the time those people were being killed. Stop trying to make this something it's not, end quote. I put, you have incorrect information and should do your own research. His phone was not connected at all to service at the time of these murders. So how in the hell do you or anyone else know where he was by his phone and that not being tracked at all at that time? His computer has not been spoken of in this crime. Purchase of what? Some clothes, shoes, what? What other records put Brian Kohlberger in the 1122 King Road house at the time the victims were murdered? I'll wait. Number 7 and final. You stated, quote, it's a goddamn small town. Oh my God, I can't stand all these YouTube channels just capitalizing on this horrific crime. And I answered, you chose to watch my video. You are complete, undercooked, overrated, half-baked tater-tot. I can't stand the fact that some people are so shallow as to think everything revolves around their well-being and no one else's. Lorna says, was this poster an eyewitness, or how do they know BK is guilty? That came across my feed at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I get it to go to the bathroom, and I was so livid. I couldn't sleep. I got back up. I created a thumbnail. I'm like, oh, I'm telling my family. I'm just saying. The audacity, the ego is so large in this post. But I still think her. Not only did she get me thinking, aha, I went and found some info for us based on what she said. Make sure we say thank you to Junie Jams. Junie Jams, you did us so good, Junie. Junie June, I love it. You pointed us exactly where we needed to go to see what the hell took place and why the sorority girls didn't call 911 themselves. Let's go check that out. All right, this is the University of Idaho's own website. It says resources and policies, right? And then we come down here and we've got Multicultural Greek Council. We've got the Infraternity Council, and we have Panhellenic Council. So we've got the multicultural, but then we have the fraternity, and then we have the Panhellenic. And I'm like, what the hell is Panhellenic? So Panhellenic is of concerning or representing all people of Greek origin and ancestor. Homer is a Panhellenic poet claimed by many. It is relating to, advocating, or denoting the idea of a political union of Greeks, of concerning and representing all college fraternities and sororities. So here is and all the little sororities are part of this Panhellenic, okay? This document is designed to serve as a guideline for crisis management at the University of Idaho as it pertains to the college Panhellenic community and its members. The primary role of the College Panhellenic Council is to ensure the safety of all women within our organization with the guidance of the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life. This document aims to provide clarity and outlines exact steps of actions that will take place if a crisis occurs. The crises acknowledged in this document are weather, diversity, and cultural appropriation, hazing, campus-wide, and a death of a member. Please acknowledge if anyone is injured or you are in immediate danger, call 911 first. So, we can stop right there, you guys. Everybody that's been telling us that their policy states that they are to get a hold of staff first is lying. Because if anyone is injured, well, dead people most likely have been injured, and we damn sure know that IDAHO4 were injured. And what does it say? Call 911 first. So she can kiss my ass. Now, I do find it interesting. We're going to get down here. Talks about zero tolerance for hazing, thank God. Talks about shelter in place. I do want to read this, death in the community. So remember, they are encouraging the sorority girls, the women, to call 911 if anybody is injured or if they feel they are in danger. So if you've been told differently, it's a complete lie. Unless they've updated it since their policy here in 2019 and somehow they've changed it to say differently. I haven't seen that. This is the most up-to-date I could find. Death in the community. In the event of death, do not notify the parents. This will be done by emergency officials or university personnel. Number 1. Chapters will take the following steps. Number 1. Do not announce the death until you have coordinated a plan of action with your chapter advisor and the Office of the Fraternity and Sorority Life. Be extremely careful. It is not announced until all members of the immediate family are notified. I get that. I do get that. Plan of action needs to include meeting to inform chapter of loss, how it will be shared with the rest of the community following the chapter meeting, how resources will be provided to members in grieving, including but not limited to an on-call, on-campus counselor, 24-hour crisis hotline number, group counseling, counseling and testing center already provided resources. Number 2. Check to see if your ritual contains a ceremony for memorial services. Let me read 2 again. Check to see if your ritual contains a ceremony for memorial services. Huh. Okay. Number 3. If the member lived in the house, do not remove any of the deceased student's personal possessions. If the member had a roommate, the roommate should be moved temporarily to another room. Not out of the house? Okay. Number 4. Continually check on members. This may be their first experience dealing with grief. Number 5, plan a local memorial service to celebrate the member and help the community process the circumstances. So I'll let you go ahead and read this if you would like. It's let me pull it down here. That's the little address right there for you. I'll highlight it. You can pause your screen and check it out. Lorna says we all have to have our stories straight first to protect our own fancies. WSU Mom Kim says I have a daughter who was Greek at WSU and has a seizure incident. Her sisters called me right after 911. Susan Roscoe says, see if I can find that video that showed the other document that says call them before 911. Right? If there is another document, y'all get it to me. That's why I'm having this moment. Because I'm like, if that's true, if that is true, that they are saying to let the Greek council know before calling 911, there's a big problem, and we need to get it changed immediately, not just looked at. We need to make phone calls, we need to talk to people, we need to get it changed. Fallon says and nails it. Just wow, this troll commenter seems to know everything. Everything sounds like a paid voice for the university LE prosecutor. Is this the real reason? Is there a hidden bylaw that they don't put out to the public that actually says to notify senior staff first? Because if that's true, was it 8 hours of the college basically trying to make sure that there's no way this crime could be tracked back in their direction, if you follow me? Karen Canada says the tragic act, I cannot read tonight, of losing these 4 people will never go away. Justice is what is needed. Does anyone believe the Memorial Park will be in this place this summer? Y'all, they were taking donations. I heard a rumor they got $800,000 already for that park. So I don't buy that their book, that Scott Green's book, is going to go for more flowers. How many damn flowers do you need? And we all read, if you didn't see my video, go back and watch it, about a teacher that challenged, a professor that challenged where all these grants and funding going, and she ended up getting accused of meth and being armed or something. You got to go watch this video. It's absurd. And I'm just saying, I'm actually surprised that they didn't, find a way to profit off of the site itself. It tells me personally, in my humble belief, that there may be a motive why they didn't profit off little pieces of it. Like they were hiding it. Let's bury it, literally suppress it in the ground. Right? Is the murder weapon in the house? Was it? Is it buried now and protected and guarded? Coming up very shortly, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. You'll have to stay tuned. Watch our community post. Could be tomorrow or maybe Tuesday. I've done some research into the Washington, Pullman area and their law enforcement and who was involved and how it worked out to be that the very officers, investigators that went into Brian Koberger's apartment, how did they get their job? That is so interesting. And why are they making so much more a year than anybody else in that position? We go into the little scandal that Pullman had, that the Washington police had, a little sexual scandal that was going on right as this whole IDAHO4 case started, and it involves a student. But I've got more to show you on the Kansas City 3. I've got more to show you about the Pullman police. I've got more to show you about, that footage. It looks like a knife to me. You know what I'm talking about, or you don't. If you don't, make sure you return. That'll be the next video we do. That'll